when we have a lot of doubts and we have a lot of questions, and also we have doubts and questions that if it's left unanswered, it can be quite dangerous to our Dharma practice, because those doubts and questions become dangerous because they become like thieves, and they rob us of our confidence, and they rob us of our faith, and they rob us of our what little knowledge that we've already known. So when we have a lot of doubts and we have a lot of questions, if we leave it unanswered and we don't embark on them and go on to answering them, because today's situation is that there's a lot of distractions out there, lots and lots and lots of distractions, a lot of distractions that pull us away from ourselves. What happens is that these doubts become very dangerous, and they become likened as described in the Tantra of the 8 Taras, or the Taras that free us from the 8 fears. They become like thieves. So what happens is doubts become thieves, and well, some people may be thinking, well, we're supposed to have doubts, and we're supposed to ask questions, and we're supposed to inquire, we're supposed to, raise our questions. That's exactly the spirit of Buddhism. So what happens is that when we leave the doubts and we leave the questions unanswered, they become like thieves, and they rob us of our confidence, they rob us of our faith. Eventually, they rob us of our practice, they rob us of our transformation. So what's the difference? The difference is when we have questions and we have doubts, there are many ways to answer them. It isn't only when you're sitting in front of your teacher that you ask these questions and then you get them answered, and then everything is fine, and then that's your quick fix for the month. And then next month, you sit in front of the teacher and you ask questions, and then you get another quick fix, and then you get another quick fix. And what happens is, after many months of quick fixes, you find that you're still getting more and more doubts, and you're still getting more questions, and you still have more questions and doubts that lead to you degenerating in your practice. So the alternative to that is, that we should answer the questions, and we should answer these doubts. And these doubts and questions should be answered not just when we're in front of the teacher, but we should actually apply effort from our side in reading, searching on the net, because the net is full of information. Reading, searching on the net, asking senior Dharma students questions, not new people. Not people who come in for a short while, not people who don't know what you're doing or what you're... Even people of other lineages at sometimes may give you answers that are different. Not wrong, different, because their approach is different. Or even other centers, or even other sects, or other Lama students. It might be difficult because a new person will not be able to take that information in and dissect it and take what they need out. In fact, it might throw them off the path because it's a whole new set of practice. So if they say, hey, for example, in Kichara House, when we have to do our preliminary practices before Tantra, we have to do prostrations, and everybody's doing prostrations. And you go to another center and say, yeah, we have to do the preliminary practices, and we have to do mandala first. And then a new person go, oh, wait a minute. And then they get doubts. They go, wait a minute, but is that right? They have more people, and they've been around longer, and they do kind of like mandala first, and we're doing prostrations maybe. You see, these kind of doubts are not good. Why? These are doubts from a new person who is not asking the right source. The right source is someone within your own tradition. Example, if you're studying in a university, in your own curriculum, in your own university, and you have doubts about a certain subject, you would go to your own classmate or a senior classmate of your school who have finished your curriculum, and then they can give you a good answer in relation to your question. But if you go to a completely different college, or even a different country, or a different curriculum, or a different university, they're going to give you a different type of answer that is right and applicable for them in their college. And once they get the knowledge of whatever they want to get, it's going to benefit them. But it's not going to benefit you in the beginning, because you can think, hey, wait a minute, maybe my course is not so good, or maybe there's something wrong. So what I'm saying is, when we first get into Dharma, When we first find our spiritual path, we're very excited. And we're very enthusiastic. And we want to do everything. And we just want to do everything that we can. And we want to, we're so devoted to our Lama, and everything that our Lama does is perfect. And we're so devoted to the center, and we're so devoted to the other students, and we come in there with this idealistic view that everybody in the center is perfect. And then we're so into reading, and we're so into investigation, and we're so into collecting merit. And what happens is, that's wonderful. If there are senior students around who are senior, doesn't mean how much time they have been in the Dharma. Senior means one who is practiced. So a senior student is one that you can see by Dharma, their whole attitude has changed. Their mental focus has changed. Their whole goal in life has changed. And they don't revert back. They don't revert back, not because reverting back is bad, because when you move forward, why would you want to move backward? If you move forward. So therefore, a senior student is not someone that's been in Dharma 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. That's not what I consider senior. If that's the case, when young reincarnated lamas come to the monastery, they wouldn't immediately enthrone them and put them on high thrones, although they're 2-3 years old. And then there's all these senior monks around who's been in the monastery for 40-50 years. Seniority has nothing to do with time. In our case, seniority has to do with practice. So a person who's senior, a person who's junior right now can become senior next year. Why? The level of their practice and how much they apply. How much we can practice is how much knowledge we have. How much knowledge we have is how much effort we put in. So our center has volunteers and has committed staff, and there is salaried staff, and there is an organization. It is licensed, and it's well taken care of, and there's a building, and there's a teacher, and there's a light curriculum. Everything's available. So if we have that available, and we don't take full advantage of it, and we still have doubts, or depressions, or unhappiness, then that can only arise from ourselves. Only ourselves. We should do our best to really read up and take advantage. We should really take a few hours out a month for ourselves and read up. And why should we read up? Because we love ourselves, because we're committed to our spiritual practice, and in the end, where do we end up? When the fun's over, when the kids are grown up, if we have kids, when the career is over, where do we end up? What happens to all of us? And that's what we have to keep thinking. Why should we live our life now for that? People say we should live in the moment. Living in the moment is not in denial of what's going to happen to us later. Living in the moment is an awareness of what's going to happen to us later. So that's how you live in a moment. So what happens is we should read up. We should really, really read up. And we should investigate.